One function that you can assign to a button is named Register Recall Shooting Functions. Long story short, you push one button and your camera will change 14 settings instantly. Hello, today I came with my R7 coupled with my long time forgotten RF800F11. I am very curious to see what I can do with that lens now that I have a bit more experience. And I made also some changes with the R7. I have some new configuration with the buttons. I made some shortcut. I also will use for the first time the recall setting button, so I will see if I like it or not. It should be a very nice day, so let's do it. In the Philippines you have a kingfisher that you see a lot. That's the white-collared kingfisher. It's a kingfisher with a beautiful blue and white. And here on the line we have a more rare kingfisher. That's a stork-billed kingfisher. So I will try to photograph this one. I will position myself between the kingfisher and the sun because we absolutely need the light on the subject when you want to photograph with that kind of lens at f11. So let's try that. I will go silent and approach a little bit more. So I assigned, by the way, the silent mode to the button that was before for the depth of field, the button at the front. And I found that very convenient to change quickly between the silent mode. Oh, there is a crow there. You can hear it. Between the silent mode and the mechanical shutter. He flew on the trees. So let's try with the egret now. Let me show you quickly at least once how to assign a button to a new function. First you go in page 3 of the orange menu with that camera icon here. You click on Customize Buttons. Then you scroll down with the D-pad until you find the desired button. Now you see here this button in photo mode is the depth of field preview button, and its function is depth of field preview. You click and now you can choose a new function, in my case the silent shutter function. Now we can check and you see that the depth of field preview button has now a silent shutter function. So we are done. Alright, right there is a bunch of egrets. Maybe 25 of them. Up there is some sparrows and some Asian glossy starlings. I will get that as well. On the way to the egrets, I shot a few Asian glossy starlings. Here is one photo at ISO 100. Which is very rare with that RF800F11. For the next one, I pushed my new emergency recall setting button, so my numbers went up, but it worked fine. One function that you can assign to a button is named Register Recall Shooting Functions. Long story short, you push one button and your camera will change 14 settings instantly. I'm sure you see how cool that is. Let me show you, because there is just one more step for this one. Same page 3 in the orange menu, select the button of your choice. Note that here I wanted to assign the recall setting to this button, but the icon was not showing up, so I chose that button instead. You click, you find the Register Recall icon, that's the one, and now you have to click the Info button of your camera to have the list of settings to change. Here you can check or uncheck the settings that you don't want, for example, and here you change the numbers. I have a shutter speed of 1/2000. We can change it to 1/2500. ISO auto. My exposure compensation is at -2 for the white egrets. You have AF area, subject tracking, eyes detection, and so on. So basically, when you push the emergency button, all those things will be activated, and you just have to take the photo. Down the list you have an option to register the current settings, which it's a nice option to have. No need to click, we are done. I will keep that Register Recall button. I find it very useful for emergencies. Here, for example, I saw that mangrove heron passing by. I just pressed it and I was good to go with my Zone AF, animal tracking, and so on, no matter what I was doing. Very powerful, but with limitations. While pressing that emergency button, there is no way to adjust the exposure, for example. So when I shot at things other than white egrets, here is what I got with my auto ISO and my exposure compensation at -2. It looks like they are building some huge pier over there, and it will go until the ocean gets deeper. And it's kind of a huge construction. The tide was high already, so I left the egrets and reached the shore, where I got some nice surprises. At the back of the little mangrove, near the airport fence, there are some wrecks. Very nice colorful trees and a bit more trash, but still a very nice place for exotic birds. Here are 4 uncropped, amazing photos of a tiny rufous-tailed Tyler bird. He is at 10 to 15 meters, hunting insects and jumping from branch to branch. And when you are that close, that's where the magic happens. My shutter speed was 1/3220th of a second. My ISO was 5000. I just passed the JPEG image through Topaz, standard denoise mode, and boom, plenty of details, just great. This is probably a juvenile scaly breasted munia in the branches, which brings me to another of my new R7 shortcut. Sometimes the autofocus has a hard time to find the subject in a complicated situation. So in the past, to jump from zone autofocus to spot autofocus, I had to open the Canon quick menu by pressing the middle of the D-pad. Then 80% of the time I was already on the right tool, so I just have to push once to the right and I was in single point AF. And I had to do it again to go back in zone AF. Quick enough, but now what I did, I went into the menus in page 4 in the purple autofocus menu. I clicked on limit AF area. I kept only the spot AF and the zone AF and I unchecked all the rest. Then I assigned the autofocus area to the left button on the D-pad and that's it. Now every time I click left on the D-pad, it changes from spot AF to zone AF, then back to spot. Very nice. So I am still in the little mangrove, a bit closer to the airport, and I just shot a bird that looks like a greater coucal, but I am not sure about it. I will put the name on the screen, and it's not really a nice picture, but first time I photographed that bird. And just before that I got a pink-bellied dove or pigeon, pink-bellied pigeon, and that's kind of rare that I see that here. So I'm very happy about that, and there's a bird over there, so I will investigate that also. I see you later. And no, it's not a greater, but a lesser coucal, so a bit smaller. And here you have the pink-throated pigeon, super colorful. That's only the third time I see that kind of bird. Unfortunately, it shows an horrible bright sky as a background. Then I saw those ruddy turnstone near the water. One of them saw me, and in the next second they all flew away. So I pushed the emergency button. But here I added more brightness in post. Alright, I hope I got some nice pictures. Overall, I think I like how I set up my R7 with the new assignment of some buttons, some new shortcuts. And I like also the recall settings, but it's only something that you want to use in case of emergency because it has some limitation. You can absolutely not change the exposure compensation while you are pushing the button. Yeah, that's it. Bye.